ho, It's December already.
It's December. It is time for the holidays.
We've got our Christmas mug.
You do. I like it a lot. I wish
you.
I had a Christmas mug, but lucky you. Awesome. Welcome everybody to Wino Wednesday. I feel like it's been so long. It's just because things are happening so quick for the holidays that it's been a while and we miss you all. But I am Gina.
I'm RobbyG.
Yes, and we are
we are, what are we?
frazzled.
Venissimo cheesemongers.
Cheesemongers, yes.
Getting ready for a crazy, amazing holiday season, which is different than any other.
It is.
And just coming off of a Thanksgiving that was incredible and different.
Yes, which we must say thank you to all of you.
And fun in its own way.
Yes.
At least for me it was.
It was very good. Yeah, very good, very delicious.
But this is the time of year where we really ramp it up, and I don't know what percentage our sales go up, but this is where we separate the men from the mice, if you will, Gina.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And I feel this year, it just already seems like it's crazier, busier than any other year for us, for what we do.
Exactly. People are starving for cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's something that you can come and grab and go and enjoy at home, and you can even enjoy it virtually and safely. So
yeah, exactly. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Give us just a minute, everybody. Having a little difficulty with the chat, but if you have a YouTube account, if you know already, I'll be able to chat and try to answer your questions that way. And if you don't, I hope we answer your questions as we go, right?
Yes.
As we talk. And Panini had to say hi to everybody, make an appearance. Okay, now you go.
He's such a ham, a panini.
Super ham. We're a panini, a ham panini. Get it?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Cheese and ham.
It's a little punchy today, Rob. All right. Do you want to identify the plate while I try to fix this?
Yes. So while Gina is working on that, I will tell you about the cheeses and what's on the plate and the order that we're going to eat in. And then when we get started, we will dig into these two cocktails, which are from You and Yours, our very own urban distillery, which is actually a stone's throw from where we are right now in East Village. So we'll get to those in a minute. But first, we'll start with the cheeses, and I'm going off of the order that is on your lid. And the first one is the Bee Goat Gouda. It looks like this. Ours has a little hole in it. Yours might not have a hole in it, but they are in these kind of stick pieces.
Stick forms, I don't know.
Rectangular stick forms. The second cheese is the Moon Rabbit. And the Moon Rabbit it's a little bit grittier in texture. It's a little bit firmer. And it's kind of chunked, more rustic looking like this. That's the Moon Rabbit. It's a yummy, delicious one that we don't often have. The third cheese is going to be this guy, the triangle, and that is the Pecorino Ginepro.
That one you can see a bit of difference on the rind.
Yeah, it's got a black natural rind, or kind of grayish black natural rind. The fourth cheese is the Fourme d'Ambert, and this is a classic Frenchie, obviously a blue cheese. I have a little rind on my piece, which we're going to eat. And then some of the accoutrements. We've got dried pear. These look like candied walnuts or pecans.
Yes, pecans.
No, a pecan is a can that you store peas in, okay? This is a pecan, a candied one at that. These are, this is our rosemary. We always like the rosemary.
Yes.
Fresh grapes, and, what's the jam?
Oh, honey today.
Honey.
Because honey is awesome with gin.
Is this the velvet?
This is not velvet bees.
No.
Nope, it's just honey. It's an orange blossom honey from Spain, but it's delicious.
Orange blossom honey. It's got a really nice texture. It's very thick and
it is thick and gooey. Yeah.
Thick and gooey.
Gooey's a good word. Still working on chat, you guys. Bear with me. Okay. All right.
Alrighty, so
do we start with the gin? Do we start by popping the gin and talk a little bit about gin, because everyone wants to get started with that, right?
I think we should start with the gin, and I'll talk a little bit about You and Yours, who and I think the order for the gins would be the gin and tonic first, and then we will go into the blood orange gin and tonic, because that's got a little flavor to it. The idea for tasting in order is the same regardless of what you are getting into, whether it's cheese, wine, whiskey, gin, cocktails, anything we try to taste in order from mild to wild.
Yes.
I'm just basing that on the fact that one has added flavor to it.
Exactly. So this probably will be the mildest of them. Yeah. Okay, we know how we love to hear the wine cork pop. I think in a can of gin, which I've never in my life had a can of gin and tonic, this is probably a good sound. Oh, it even popped a little.
It just reminds me of like a Super Bowl beer commercial or something.
Very highfalutin Super Bowl beer. Gin and tonic in a can. So this is super fun. You and yours, a lady distiller in here in East Village.
Yeah.
Her name's Laura, and been there a few years now.
Yeah,
right?
I was just looking it up because I remember when they first moved in, and I was like, have they been here 10 years, 5 years, 1 year?
Oh my gosh.
Because I can't. It all runs together for me. 2017.
17. Oh, so it's getting up there. 3 years.
2017, they moved into the neighborhood. They're right here in East Village, and they claim to be the first destination urban distillery in California.
Oh, in all of California. Okay.
So, I mean, there's a few qualifiers there, but I think that means that they have a nice tasting room.
Yeah, it's super cool.
It's right here in the heart of East Village in downtown San Diego. And they do, they don't just do gin, they do a couple different gins, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
There is their regular Sunday gin.
Sunday gin.
Which is what they use for the gin and tonic. And then they also do a London gin, which is a little bit higher ABV.
Okay.
That's what they use for the second
Ooh, that's going to be an
drink.
interesting contrast. So this one I'm going to start with. Gin is best served cold, chilled over a giant ice cube, I think. So these are the giant square ones. If anybody has seen, I love these little ice cube makers. It's silicone, so it's super flexible, and it makes these beautiful giant cubes, which I think is a must-have for any cocktail, including canned gin and tonic.
Oh, yeah.
How much should I pour?
The whole thing.
Is it couth to pour the whole?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
It's not
Cheers,
like it's
everyone.
on the rocks. It's a cocktail.
It's on a rock.
Yeah, it's a big rock.
So everyone out there, cheers. Happy holiday salute. George, I see. Happy holidays. Chat
Cheers,
is back,
everybody.
please. Yeah. Okay. Gin and tonic.
Let's get your reaction.
Oh my God, that's so light. This could be super scary because can I tell you,
Yeah.
I've been doing holiday stuff all day and haven't like eaten anything, and you just start like I'm so thirsty. This would be something you need to have at the pool, I think too. It's great for a holiday cocktail, but definitely needs to be a swimming pool.
And these are available they're available at some restaurants too, but you can grab them from their website, or I think you can probably pick them up at the distillery. I was going to say they also make vodka and some vodka canned cocktails. So they have various canned cocktails, and then you can also get just the spirits on their own.
Yeah.
So a couple of stats on the gin and tonic.
Okay.
Let's see. So it says crafted with lazy cloud gazing in mind. It's never cloudy here in San Diego. Though. This refreshingly bright and tonic is brimming with your favorite Southern California flavors. Let's see. It's gluten-free. It's 7.5% ABV. But it's a classic sort of California take on the gin and tonic.
It is. It's just it's light and lively. Whatever you said about it being light and refreshing type part, that's what it is. I don't get a ton of the juniper that I sometimes get with gin, so I wonder if we will in the next when it's a little stronger or starker.
And I looked up some things about gin. I didn't know a ton about gin. I'm a cheese guy after all, so come on, take it easy on me. But the word gin derives from the Latin for juniper. And it's sort of defined by the fact that it is that the dominating flavor profile in gin is juniper berries, which is what they're mostly distilled from. But there are other things that can be involved or added to the distilling process. In this case, it's grapes that they distill from.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then sometimes they add other ingredients just to give it a little bit of zest or whatever, some citrus or
a little zippiness. Hold on that real quick.
Absolutely. Oh, so show and tell is coming up. I can't wait. But you can get the bottles of the Sunday gin. The Sunday gin is 40% ABV, and and they come in. You can go get the bottles at you and yours and mix your own cocktails if you like. Are these juniper berries?
Look what I have. Yes, I keep a jar of juniper berries because I want to think I'm a cool cocktail maker, which I'm not. But I'm going to make myself cool. Oh my gosh, smell this, Rob. You can even taste that.
Can I chew on this?
I'm going to try it. It's juniper, which tastes like... Okay, you have another.
Your floor is clean, isn't it?
Yeah. Very piney, right? Which I love. That's what I love about gin, is that pininess.
For some reason, because it looks like a peppercorn, like I was expecting like a hit, like a spiciness, but no, it's more kind of sweet.
Kind of sweet and subtle. But look, I put it in my cocktail now. I'm super cool.
Yeah, you are very cool.
Yeah. I love the pininess, just kind of that greenness, because that's also why I like rosemary, and it's super, super good with the cheeses. What should we try first?
Yeah, so tasting in order, we will start with the Honeybee Goat Gouda.
Okay. Honeybee Goat with the gin and tonic. So we picked that because goat cheeses tend to pair particularly well with gin and tonics because they kind of have lemony qualities, a little tartness and stuff to them, and so do these types of drinks. So goat cheeses are often really good with cocktails. There's a little fun tip.
So this cocktail is made with fresh grapefruit and Valencia orange peel. So zest, which gives it the citrusy notes. And one of the things that is very forward in the flavor of goat's milk cheeses is citrusy notes. Now that doesn't mean that they add any citrus to it. That's just a flavor that people get. I hate to tell people what they're tasting, but now that I've planted that in your head, see if you get any of that. This is more of an aged goat cheese. This is a Gouda. It's from Holland. It is also soaked in, well, there's a couple things that define a Gouda. One is that they're from Holland. Two is they're wrapped and aged in wax. Before they age and wrap this one in wax, they soak it in honey, so you get a little sweetness on the rind as well. This is a really fun cheese.
This is fun, and these go so good together. They should be married for a very long time.
This is a really versatile cheese too. The honeybee. I mean, this works with beer. It's good with both red and white. You can do a lot with this one, and you can snack it as is.
Snack it as is. Throw it in your backpack. Like, it's a good picnic cheese. Go to the beach cheese.
Oh yeah.
Melting cheese. I mean, this actually melts really well for a goat cheese. In a panini or mac and cheese, anything like that. But I totally get honey and I totally get citrus. Like, to me, it's orange, and I'm not sure if I'm getting it from here or from the cheese, but it's super, super good.
And that would be something that's complementary. So a lot of times, if you can get similar flavors, they will totally complement each other, and one will bring the other out more. Like Gina was saying, we're not even sure what's bringing what out more, but for whatever reason, they're working together.
I love it together. I mean, to me, this is one of the best kind of complementary pairings that we've had for a long time.
Should we try a little honey to make it even a complementary?
Yeah, even more. Yeah, I've got to try honey on everything and a little of the rosemary frond. We talk about this every time.
Well, to give you a little more pininess too. Maybe throw it in the drink.
Oh, now I'm super fancy. Oh, I'm not so good. Let me. I claim to be a cheesemonger, not a bartender. But yeah, that's real pretty. This is my kind of drink. I like savory.
Nice. So you would get this again, is what you're saying?
I would get this again. I know you can yes. How was it, the honey with the honeybee?
Delish. Yeah, no, it's really good. I mean, honey with cheese is kind of like it's kind of like cheating, to be honest.
Why is it cheating?
It's cheating because it's the most done type of pairing, which is a contrasting pairing, and it's totally just exploiting the salty sweet thing.
Yeah.
But to an extreme, because you've got honey, which is so extremely sweet with really, really salty, savory cheese, and they always work. And the more salty, the stronger you go with the cheese, the more that balance works out, in the more spectacular it is. So in case in point, try it with a blue cheese.
Yes, but not yet.
But wait.
Wait, there's more.
What a tease. We do the blue cheese last, because if you tasted it now, then you tried to taste the Pecorino or the Moon Rabbit, your palate might be a little bit confused. So try to hold off on that if you can.
Yeah, I had a factoid for you, Professor. The average honeybee...
I thought you were going to say the average human head weighs 8 pounds.
8 pounds, yeah. It's almost like that. The average honeybee only lives 6 weeks.
Oh.
That's sad, right?
Yeah, you just brought the whole show down.
I'm sorry.
God,
I
why would you
learned
do
this from
that?
a friend that is a beekeeper, and she told me this, and I thought they might live at least like 6 months or something. But think of all the work that they have to do and everything, and they have such a short life. So appreciate the honey and the honeybees.
They're such hard workers, and they just work themselves. Do they ever get time to relax, I wonder? Do they
I don't
ever
think
luxuriate?
they have like a Sunday. Do they have a Sunday gin?
It's so sad. Now I feel bad for bees.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. On that note, delicious honey. Thank you, bees. Yeah.
Did we ever? I don't know. Maybe we sold out of it, but we had a cheese made with the gin. Did we sell out of it?
Oh well, no, we
Is this
have
a story?
not.
Okay.
No.
We should talk about it.
We
Before
should. And the reason we just didn't, we have some left. So if you are interested, yes, RobbyG, you are the one that coordinated and orchestrated this whole idea of if you can soak a cheese in wine, why not soak a cheese in gin?
Why not?
Why not? Oh, no way. Sorry. You didn't say that. No way. Okay.
So what happened to the cheeses? We
still have some.
Yeah.
So they were part of our Cheese Lovers Club this month. Was this gin soaked cheddar from
with the Sunday gin?
With this Sunday gin, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna. I think we would have used him if we had enough.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the tasting.
It was just.
But it gives us a good chance to kind of tell the story because we're gonna get into the second cheese is going to be kind of similar to what that cheese is, and you can probably get it if you call the shops, right? If
yes.
You have if people want it, but we do a cheese. Well. We've done one cheese festival here in San Diego. It was in 2018, I want to say, or 19, because all the years now are running together. 2020 was supposed to be the second year, and because of COVID, it's pushed into 2021. But the idea was we were wanting to bring in cheesemakers from all across the world, and we were thinking of how could we get them to come to San Diego? And the answer was San Diego is the top beer city in the world. Yeah. But even beyond that, we have a lot of the breweries and the early brewers have moved on to other things like distilling and working in restaurants as chefs, making things like mead and sake and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so we said we'll call it the Liquid City, San Diego being a liquid city, cheese expo. We'll get all these cheesemakers together, and we'll, intersperse between all the cheesemakers. We'll have brewers and distillers, and then we'll also try to encourage them to work together and make collaborations. So reach out to a local liquid producer. If you're a cheesemaker from somewhere in the world, reach out to a San Diego liquid producer and get creative. Yeah. And if you can soak a cheese in wine, why not beer, gin, or vodka, or do something with beer? Just go crazy. And so we had some creations, and of course this year's event was, we're going to say rescheduled instead of canceled. It was rescheduled to a later date when we can do it, but we had some cheese that was already made. We thought let's bring it out now at the end of the year for the holidays. Exactly. So swing in if you get the chance. All the shops have some. It's called Beehive Gin Cheddar. And taste it. It's real subtle, I think. Yeah. I think it's like this. This is very subtle with like that juniper, that gin flavor. But I think you can enhance it with either the rosemary or a juniper berries. Yeah, and it's a cheddar cheese, and they basically soak it in gin. Then they wrap it like in a basically a cryovac. Yeah. And then they age it, and the longer they age it, just the more it's an experiment. So to absorb, right? Yeah, it'll absorb more and more, and it'll penetrate more and more into the rind. And so just like any cheese that's created for the first time, we don't know what would have happened over time. It may have gotten better with age. Funky. It could have aged it could have gotten funky. We could have aged it 10 years, but we let it go for, I don't know, whatever that was, 6 months or maybe 9 months or something like that. Anyway, it's delicious, but it's not super ginny. I haven't even tried it. Yeah. You haven't? It's not super ginny. That's what I heard, yeah. Just light. Yeah. But it's good. But it's worth a try. But I wanted to talk about that before we get into the next cheese. Okay. Because it's sort of got a similar idea. Right. While you do that though, Rob, I think I should open this too, because I should have to try the cheeses with both of them to see which is better. Yeah. But I already ate all the honey. You're double fisting now. Yeah, exactly. So we'll go for the blood orange here. But in the meantime, which cheese are we going to go to next? So the next cheese is going to be the Moon Rabbit. What a cool name. Yeah, and I don't know where the name comes from, to be honest, but the cheesemaker is called Deer Creek, and they're a small producer in Wisconsin. They mostly do cheddars, if not, maybe everything they do is cheddars, but they do really sharp, really cool artisan cheddars. This one is unique because they soak it in a green chartreuse, which is a liqueur. And so same idea with soaking the other cheese and the gin. This one they soak in the chartreuse. I'm disappointed that it's not green on the rind. I wish it was, yeah. Oh my gosh. As a kid, that was always to sneak into the liquor cabinet. It was the green one that I wanted to taste, the creme de menthe, the chartreuse, right? What is it, Frangelica, that's kind of that green gold color. Oh yeah, Jägermeister. Oh no, that's a bottle. That's green. Yeah, that was a bottle. Green. I'm like, I don't know green Jägermeister yet. Wait, so our green beer on St. Patrick's Day. Moon Rabbit. Maybe it's because I didn't look up where the name comes from, but it could be because the moon is made of cheese. What do you think? The label has someone staring up at the moon. Is it really? It's got to be that. And you know what that someone is? A rabbit. No, well there you go. Well done, Professor. That's why they call me Professor. That's really liqueur-y to me. So you probably got a piece of rind. Yeah, I did. Yeah, actually, I can taste it too. So
Yeah, this one's much more intense with the liquor.
and there's many ways that they can incorporate other ingredients, whether it's a liquid or spices, herbs. You can, of course, have it on the rind. You can soak it or wash it. The other thing that they can do to bring in other elements is when the curd forms, and with cheddar they're solid curds. I mean, the curds you can pop in as like a snacking food if you want. I mean, cheddar curds are sold just to eat as is, but when they press those curds together, they can press them with the green chartreuse or with wine, whatever ingredient they're incorporating, and you'll taste it all throughout the cheese as well. So I wonder if they did that with these.
Yeah, the pressing, it kind of looks like it has a little bit of that.
They'll get
I don't want to say
marbled.
marbling. Very, very lightly inside. But, okay, this is
How's it
interesting.
better?
So I tried it with the orange, okay? I should have tried the orange first on its own, but with these two together, Rob, okay, wait. The word I'm coming up with, okay. I almost think it tastes like Tang. Or those pixie sticks that you had as a kid? That powder that you would just pour in your mouth out of a straw?
Oh, yeah.
It tastes like an orange pixie stick to me.
Interesting.
Together, which isn't bad. I loved those pixie sticks, but that's how I would describe it. The two together.
Sometimes those are the best descriptors, is when you can say like Jolly Rancher, or even like a specific flavor of a Jolly Rancher, or some kind of candy that reminds you of childhood. It brings you like, that's,
good memories,
yeah,
right?
it brings you right back.
It does. Did you see that movie Ratatouille?
Of course.
When he took a bite of the ratatouille, and then it transported him right back to him as a kid. That's exactly it. I'm like, oh, I'm going like this with the pixie stick.
Amazingly, that is probably half of, I don't know, someone probably has stats on this or has done a study on it, but I don't know what percentage of enjoyment of this type of thing is the memories and like the do you know what I'm saying, like the is the time and place and like the
the
mental emotional part of
the
it.
emotional part. To me, smell, it makes the most intense of a bring back a memory. Always the smell. And then I guess second maybe taste, I guess.
I don't know, it's hard. I wouldn't even know. But I just had a candied pecan.
A candied pecan with, okay, I'm going to try the orange with the rosemary. Way good. That's what you have to try. The orange with the rosemary. That I'm liking a lot. It tempers that orange a little bit,
So how do you like so is it when you mix the moon rabbit with the blood orange, is that where you got the tangy thing? Okay. On
its own, I get more bitterness of the orange. With the cheese, I get more of the sweet. Isn't that interesting? So
for
it's kind of fun to see how they change.
So for the two different gins, the second one, the one they use for the blood orange, is what they call the London Dry Gin.
Okay.
And it has a higher ABV, juniper heavy with notes of blood orange, pink peppercorn, and clove. So you get more of those probably spicy notes.
Spicy things, okay.
I don't know if you get it or not, but it's higher ABV. Also distilled from grapes, so it's kind of, they say it's more meant for a martini as opposed to like a something.
It'd be a good martini. I'm trying. You said the spice, so I wanted to do it with the pecan to see if I get more spicy. I didn't get any spice myself, but let's try it with the pecan. Candied. That's mellow. Mellow together.
Panini's back.
He's back. He wants some cheese. All right.
He just wants to hang out.
You can have a little moon rabbit. Who wouldn't like a little rabbit? There you go. All right,
he wants some French fries. That's what he wants.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So onward to. Oh, this one's kind of fun. We picked this one purposefully.
Oh yeah, this is the kind of the classic one. Before we were making cheeses with local gin, the go-to pairing was always this one.
Yes.
This is a classic. It's called Pecorino Ginepro, and so the Ginepro basically means juniper.
Yeah.
And so and we know how gin derives from that. There's also it's called Jennifer. That's what they call it, like in the Netherlands and in Belgium. Jennifer is a ginny type of drink.
Jennifer. So that's how you'll know that it's juniper based.
Yeah. It's all comes from the same root.
Okay.
But Pecorino just means sheep's milk cheese. Usually they're aged. This one is aged over a year. I can just tell by looking at it. I would say maybe even 18 months. So it's kind of dry and gritty. It's got the juniper is it juniper and balsamic on the rind?
Juniper and balsamic, yep.
And so that's where the color comes from. It's edible. It might be a little, I don't know, it might be a little weird, so maybe don't just swallow it whole. Have a little bite first and see what you think of the rind, but it's natural.
Yeah, let's try the rind, because it is so fishy, Rob. This you'll appreciate it. When it comes in, usually it's very black. When it's young, the rind is the balsamic. It's the color of the balsamic. This one, though, in its transportation, from Italy and hanging out in a warehouse, in a box and whatever for months, grew just white and orange molds on the outside. And it smelled super like fishy, like scallops.
Did you guys clean it?
We cleaned it. We rubbed it off, to get back to that, to get to the rind color. But it still has a teeny bit of that funk smell on the rind.
Yeah.
But you can totally eat it because it's natural and it's balsamic and juniper.
Yeah, I had a bite of it. It's just the texture-wise, it can just be a little, I don't know, it's a little different,
I like that.
Do you like
Crunchy.
it? Yeah, it's not my, I'm okay with a little bit of it, but I like way more of like the paste or like the, this part of the cheese with ratio-wise. If I'm going to have some of that rind.
Yeah, you're going to have it. It's really good with the orange.
Nice. And so that's something that they do during the aging process is they go in every couple days, they inspect the cheeses, and these are growing, living, changing things, especially as they're aging. And aging is different than storing. We're more storing it in our refrigerators that are at 40 or so degrees. But when they're aging, they're going to be in a room that is a little bit warmer, a little higher humidity, so they're changing faster and every day. But these guys go in every day and they look over all the cheeses and they'll scrub them down, they'll clean them, they'll wash them, they'll flip them, they'll move them, they'll judge when they're ready to come out. Just like what I was talking about with our experiment gin cheddar, it's all an experiment. So they are plugging the cheeses, meaning they poke holes in them, and they're checking them for texture, and they say, well, this is 9 months, but this is ready for the market, or this one needs another 6 months, and let's clean off the rind, let's put it back on the shelf and check on it in a couple days.
Right. It's so interesting.
It's kind of how it works, yeah.
So the only thing you can kind of age, Rob, I think on your own, I think, is you get a brie, like a camembert. I think camembert is a good one. And if it's very firm, that means it's still not very ripe. But if you want to speed up the ripening of that cheese, you have to keep it at a warmer temperature and higher humidity. That will speed up the ripening of a cheese, right?
I was going to give them a little trick.
Okay, what's your trick?
So when we first get our cheeses from France, for example, so Camembert, they're ready to go. I mean, they're ready to eat, but they're not fully ripe yet. And when they're not fully ripe, when they're young, another word for that, is they'll be hard. They're firmer because as they ripen, they soften up, and the texture will change. It'll go from kind of chalky when it's firm to gooey, running all over the place when it's fully ripe. If you can't wait, if it's Bastille Day and the cheese is too young and you need it, it's a must-have. Let a young soft cheese just sit out. Let it sit out all day, a couple days if you have to.
Yeah, exactly.
And it'll accelerate the ripening process for you.
Yeah, that's super. It's a good tip because I like it when they're ooey gooey.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not as good in a baked brie, however. If you're wanting to do a baked brie for the holidays, I think you should go for the firmer one. Yeah. They handle themselves a little bit better when you're baking or cooking with them, but when you're just eating them.
Yeah, the baked bries, when if it's runny and gooey, it's a little messy in the oven.
Exactly.
You try and pick it up, it just falls apart.
Definitely.
But where this one is from, Pecorino Ginepro is from Lazio, I believe, which
near
is
Rome.
Yeah, Lazio is the region where Rome is located, and so that's language.
Roma.
The Lazio is named for the Latins, who of course gave us language, which is where the word juniper derives.
Ginepro.
Yeah. Ginepro and
Ginepro, gin. It all comes together.
It all comes together, right?
Yeah, it's really good. So I tried it with the orange. It was very good. I'm trying it with the regular gin and tonic, the lighter, like a cloudy day. Now this one's tasting more juniper-y to me. Maybe because the other one was so orangey.
I love that when you look at the descriptions for wines or whatever, and they're like, it tastes like a like a sunny day on the beach. With,
yes.
You know.
When the wind wisped.
Yeah.
My clouds away.
Taste of sadness and disappointment. And, I'm like, what?
Who wants that? Yeah. I think this one personally is better with the plain one, with the regular gin and tonic.
Which one is?
It's more the Ginepro. Pecorino Ginepro with the regular, to me, it makes it more juniper-y.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense because it's kind of like you just want the juniper and the really basic elements to kind of shine, and sometimes simpler is better. I will say for certain styles of cheeses, certain types of pairings, certain dishes, they are meant to be as simple as possible. Sometimes when you're pairing, you're looking for the most complex, weirdest, funkiest combination to just be all over the place. Other times, simple is better, and I'm kind of referring to like to fresh cheeses, mozzarella's, ricottas, olive oils, bread, and then if you're pairing with that, you're looking for something light. So just you want the cheese and whatever you're pairing it with, whether it's tomato or olive oil, you just want to taste that kind of like lactic, milky freshness.
Exactly, and I think that's what happens.
It's like pairing something. So sometimes it is good to tone it back a little bit. So with that, to maybe step away from the blood orange and kind of strip it down a little.
Well, it's so funny, like with the drinks, Rob. I think it's just like with cheeses. There are purists that just want, the basic, but then there's the ones that bring on the flavors. And that's anything goes.
It's so interesting.
You can be both.
You can be both, and there's nothing wrong with there are purists, and sometimes that can get dangerously close to snobby, and you have to
Kinda
be
like you.
careful. No, I don't think I am, right? Am I?
No, you're not. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, when the camera's off, I'm a total. No, I'm not.
You're not.
I mean, I'm a guy who likes a craft single and
That's right.
who likes a good
get
burger.
to that one day.
So that was the Pecorino Jennifer, rind and all. Do we have any questions or comments? Any favorites so far?
Let me see. Talking about the rind. Ginepro. I don't have any favorites hollered back yet, so we'll get to the favorites after going through them all. But Carol was talking about a recipe for the baked brie. Baked brie is so easy, you guys. Puff pastry.
Puff pastry for sure.
Yeah, Pepperidge Farms puff pastry. Put your brie in the center, and then what I like to do is top it with my favorite jam or jelly.
Any kind of sweet.
Anything, yes.
Apricot, fig.
Exactly, good. You can also do once I did olive tapenade, so to make a savory dish, but just load it on top, of that brie, and then wrap the puff pastry around. You can do little twirls on the top, whatever, to make it pretty. But then the key is to bake it in the dish that I think you want to serve it in. Because what tends to happen is the brie might explode a little bit. You might have a crack in your puff pastry and some of the cheese runs out. And you don't want to try to lift that out and put it on a serving plate. So if you can put it in a little brie baker or something like that, or a cast iron pan, that's a great presentation of a baked brie. And then you can just eat right out of that. Just bake 350 degrees, 30 minutes. It's delicious.
You did one with truffle paste one time too, I remember. I think we did it was truffle like a camembert with a truffle tapenade or truffle paste.
Stuff, yeah.
The Gina, what Gina recommends is key, like making it in the dish, because it will amalgamate to your dish. And just like a lot of us have amalgamated to our couches during COVID.
Or coagulated to your
That's a better cheese word.
Cheese word. Amalgamated. I don't know what you said. Oh, we have a vote, and we have our favorite little Danya online. She likes the Pecorino Ginepro.
Well, Danya, you haven't had the blue yet, so.
Well, she knows Danya is the one who has made all your plates. So if anybody likes the look of your plate, say thank you to Danya, because she is the plate designer.
Danya rocks.
Woo!
Danya, you're the best.
Cheers. I hope she's enjoying it.
I hope so, yeah. And I miss you. I haven't seen you in too long.
Oh, dang. We can change that. Okay. All right, so the Ginepro.
Ginepro. Okay, shall we do the
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. The blue cheese. So hopefully everybody's ready for this.
You're going to have to dig in. I didn't.
Here, I'm going to cut it with this, which is also going to give it some honey. So the blue is the Fourme d'Ambert. And So there it is. I would try it on its own first, and then get into, definitely got to try it with the honey. I would try it with some of the pear as well, and then try it with the beverages. But Fourme d'Ambert is cow's milk, 100% cow's milk. It's from Auvergne, which is a region in southern France. It's right next door to Midi-Pyrenees, which is where the Roquefort comes from. Roquefort is France's most famous blue cheese. It was the first blue cheese that was protected by their AOC system 100 years ago or something. And it's also kind of the basis that all other blue cheeses have copied Roquefort. Roquefort is always
the granddaddy.
It's the granddaddy. It's always 100% sheep's milk. Has to be sheep's milk. Has to come from the same region. The sheep have to graze within a certain area. It has to be cave aged. So the Fourme d'Ambert is always cow's milk. It's always from Auvergne. It has a sister cheese called Bleu d'Auvergne. And they're very similar. They're both cow's milk.
Yeah.
They're both on the creamier end. They're pretty good. I think they're pretty good starter blues.
I do too. They're not too offensive or too pungent. They're delightful.
Yeah.
They make an awesome blue cheese olive too, which is another thing that goes super, super good with gin.
Good call.
Right?
That is, yeah.
That's the one.
I'm so glad you
It's
said
my
that.
favorite. It's one of my favorites in a blue cheese olive, and I don't know why, but it's maybe the texture, because it's not too hard, it's not too soft, and not too strong, so the olive can still stand up to it, right?
Yeah, and then another little tip: put it in a pastry bag, cut like a little quarter pound, put in a pastry bag, let it sit out, and you have your own blue cheese olives.
Yeah, it's
And
easy
I
to
think
do and delicious.
Gina might carry around a tin of blue cheese olives. I think she might have one in her purse.
Are we saying
times.
truth or dare? Is this like true confessions or?
Just saying.
Oh, it's true.
I mean,
Okay.
I think I've seen her pull it out like at a restaurant before.
I've had to do this, people, because when you like a martini with a blue cheese olive and the restaurant says they don't have them, what is a person to do? Other than pull out your little bag of blue cheese olives and put it in there, because they're so good. And I tell you, if you get the chance, everyone, we make them out of these giant, and when I say giant, they're a good size, not golf ball, but approaching golf ball size olive. Ping pong ball size olive from Spain called the Gordal, and it's delicious, and we stuff with the blue cheese, and you just can put one of those in your martini. It's stunning. It's like a meal in itself, and it's so good. This cheese is what you should use.
The only thing that sucks is when the restaurant has a corkage fee for your blue cheese olives.
For the blue cheese olives?
Oh yeah.
Is it per olive?
That's $10.
I'd be in trouble.
But these are also great cheeses. I'm talking about both Fourme d'Ambert and Bleu d'Auvergne for if you love red meat and you like a blue cheese sauce, which I love on my steaks. These are some of the best ones for that. Saint-Agur is another one that's really popular. It's a little more creamy, I would say, a little softer than these, but these are classic. And then our piece had a little rind on it, and so you might have some rind on your piece as well. It's a natural rind. Again, it's what is exposed while the cheese is aging, so it's totally good to eat. It's edible. It comes wrapped in a foil, and we have torn that off, so make sure there's no little bits of foil left on your
and if it is, just blame Danya.
Yeah, it was Danya's fault. Always blame Danya. Hey, they always blame me, so I'm not even there.
I'm not going to pass the buck. It's funny, the Bleu d'Auvergne kind of makes the orange more bitter to me. With the orange, I'm going to go back now to the regular. But Carol wants to go and have a martini date with me, because I'll bust out the olives, and that would be fun. When everything busts open again, we will have a in-person martini party, blue cheese olives for all. In the meantime, we're going to have one coming up. We'll tell you a little bit about later. But there will be chances to enjoy the blue cheese olives that I speak of with. Okay, everybody, also try the Fourme d'Ambert with the pecan. It's delicious, right?
Yeah.
And you just tried it with the giant grape. So that's another popular thing to do.
Pecan, but I gotta have grape now.
Yeah, okay. With the grape remember, this was kind of a big appetizer in, I want to say, the late 80s, early 90s, where you would kind of wrap blue cheese around a grape and then roll that in nuts. And then you could freeze that, and make that super cold. That was like the hors d'oeuvre du jour back in that decade. It was crazy. That was the coolest thing to do. Too much work. Stuff it in the olive.
Way too much work.
Yeah.
Well, grapes are always are always good. I mean, that's another take on the salty sweet. So grapes, a fresh grape with that, when you bite into it, it gives you that fresh sweet burst, is so great for the triple creams, for brie type cheeses. But it will work with anything. It will balance anything.
Anything out. So I've got George and Carol are going to have martini party with me because they too adore the blue cheese olives.
We could have a distance party somewhere.
Yeah,
Why
we could.
not? Oh.
No, that's right. Exactly.
Why not?
I like it.
Coming soon. We're doing a lot of parties, private parties for the holidays, and we can. I mean, you can reach out to us, but we can do. Well, I don't know how much we can do more this year, but later, closer to New Year's, we can start doing more distant stuff, as long as it's safe and we're distance and we're outside and all that kind of stuff.
Like at a park in Del Mar now, we have, Rob, that little patio, and it's a little seating area that we can have just a small group, up to I think 12 people, could work. So it'd be an opportunity for a group of you and your friends, hang out with Rob and me.
You and yours?
You and yours? Anyone? Yours and yours? Anyone? Yeah. All good. Did everybody also try the blue cheese with the honey and the rosemary? The blue's fascinating. Oh, and with the dried pear. You didn't talk about the dried pear. Did we talk about that?
So no, I mean, these are from Specialty Produce, which is our local produce purveyor, and they're amazing. They're pears with blue cheese. This is just a classic pairing. Also, it's great because the color. I mean, as silly as this sounds, we do look at colors and stuff when we are putting together plates and boards. We actually do. When we place things on boards, flavor is important and the pairing is important, but we're also looking for like yellow against green against red. We want them to pop more, so we put certain colors together.
We live in an Instagram world.
Yeah, it's all for the Insta, and also threes. That threes.
Yes, everything in threes.
Threes make the eyes happy.
Yes, threes are good.
I say these things, and Donnie's probably laughing because I'm like the worst tray maker of anyone in the shop, and they're all artists. Like they're incredibly talented, and I'm.
You try.
I try. I can talk about the cheese. I'm a good BSer, okay?
Yeah, well, somebody's got to. No, it's good. So what were favorites out there? We're just kind of curious to hear. What about you? You tasted them all. Did you have a favorite today?
My favorite, gosh, what do we have? The honeybee, the moon rabbit, the Pecorino Ginepro, the blue. I for some reason I think it's because I ate kind of a big late lunch, and so I wasn't super hungry, so I wanted milder right now, which is usually the opposite for me. I usually like the strongest, the craziest. So I think I liked the honeybee today the most.
Oh, the honeybee. So that really just was perfect for you.
I was looking for something just mild and relaxing. It's been a very busy couple of weeks for us, and we're getting geared up for it to get even more crazy and busy. So I think I was just needing something chill and mild.
And chill. So honeybee did it for you.
How about you?
Today was the Fourme d'Ambert. And typically that's not the case for me. So, but today, I think maybe just with the gin, I think it was just so perfect. And I was the opposite. I did not eat a lot today. So maybe I'm just like, craving that something intense,
I had a pretty big lunch, and then I had a second lunch around 3:30.
How do you keep your figure?
My girlish figure? My thing now is I ran out of turkey, but I had all of the other sides left. So I had like cranberry, I had mashed potatoes and gravy and all sorts. So I made chicken because it's like the same thing. Yeah. So I just had chicken with it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, two things. We had turducken, I told you, for
John Madden, baby.
Yeah, well, it was a one time. You have to try it once thing. But my leftover made a tikka masala turkey. It was delicious.
So, but how was the turducken? Would you recommend it?
No, it was meh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I just soon go with the turkey, but it was fun to try. The duck part was the best. But I'm like scraping through, just trying to find the little duck pieces. Yeah.
We did. I went to Costco, and we had to get like 2 of everything, and
why 2?
Because it's Costco. So everything gave me 2. So I finally finishing everything, and we're giving food to neighbors and family and stuff.
Anything.
And we had a Zoom family Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And I made a menu, and I named all the items after family members.
You have names for everyone.
It was fun. It was a good way to include them.
That's good. That's good. So we have lots of votes. And Tanya says, "You do try, Professor." Is the comment.
Oh, isn't that sweet,
very
Tanya?
sweet.
Thank you.
All of the cheese is better with the honey. In other words, yeah, honey is delicious. George, agree. Yeah, I loved them all with the honey. Fourme d'Ambert gets lots of votes, and Ginepro gets lots of votes.
You know, one of these days we should do a honey class, because you can taste. Honeys are so diverse. I mean, they're diverse in flavor, texture, where they come from. You can, there's honeycomb. There's so many different types of honey. We did years ago. We did a class called Bees and Cheese. Do you remember that?
Bees and cheese. Didn't you do that at Mission Hills Nursery?
Yeah, it was at a nursery,
Yeah.
and we had a beekeeper come and do a demonstration, and that was dangerous. But no, I'm just kidding. No, but
Did you get stung?
But we can do maybe a plate where we do like 4 different honeys on 4 different cheeses. That might be fun.
That would be super good. And mix and match.
Call it Bees and Cheese 2020 or 2021.
Yeah, let's just jump right ahead. 2021. What is next though? And we have a good one next. This one's going to be delicious, everyone.
The next one is two weeks from today.
Yep, 16th I believe is the date. It's Wino Wednesday, but we're combining wino-ness with Chablis. So Chablis is going to be the wine.
And cooking
With the divas. And somebody asked earlier, but I've had too much gin to know when we're going to hook up with the divas again. That's going to be on the 16th. And we are going to actually make raclette and fondue and drink Chablis.
We will be broadcasting from the Del Mar shop.
Yes.
And Gina and I will be there eating and drinking and being very happy.
Yeah, I think we're just going to sit there and do that, and then the divas can do all the work.
Yeah, we'll just eat and
idea.
comment and
And
be annoying. Yeah.
And heckle,
Yeah,
exactly.
what we're good at.
Exactly. But it's all good. But everybody, I hope you enjoyed it. The gins, I think, were super fun, something different. I know we know it's not wine and wino, but it's 2020.
Yeah, well, I mean,
anything goes.
We switch it up every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. To get in the spirit. But thank you again. Hope to see you on the 16th, and hope to see you at the shops. I'm running into more and more people while we're there, and Rob on occasion,
every once in a while. I see you guys, or we talk via email or whatever it is. We've been doing a lot of private events, and so I've talked to some of you all through that. But I just want to say again, thank you so much for hanging out with us, for spending these Wednesdays and sometimes Sundays with us.
Exactly.
And
any day's a good cheese day.
Yeah, and it's just great to kind of to still have this community and still be going strong.
Yeah,
with,
it almost feels
everybody.
closer in ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, cheese day. It's all cheese days.
Any day that ends in Y
is a cheese day. On that note, have a cheesy day, everybody. Happy holidays in the meantime. Hope to see you again soon before Christmas.
We'll see you one more time before Christmas.
Yes, indeed.
But until then.
Until then, happy cheese eating.
Bye everybody.
Good night. Good night. Oh yeah.